up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Thomas and Tones bringing to you the Datework.co podcast, where I bring to you relationship advice and also dating advice. Today's topic I wanted to bring to a light is more to do with switching yourself from your corporate business, more emotionless kind of business vibe versus going towards your more vulnerable, caring and nurturing side when you're with your partner. Having a distinguishing factor between the two and knowing when to switch on and off is extremely important in a relationship, right? And what do I mean exactly by this is, right, when you're at work, you're generally more factual, you're more straightforward, and you're less emotional about your decisions because that's what business is about. If we made emotions on absolutely everything we did, especially in our day jobs, which we do constantly throughout the day, it'd be very emotionally taxing on our bodies, which wouldn't be really good for when we came home or we wanted to spend time with our partners, right? Or partner, I meant to say. It's really important that you know when to switch on and off this emotional state. And it might take a couple of minutes or an hour to do so, but it's extremely important because if you're so emotionless at work or you're more assertive with what you're doing, then you come home to your partner and you can't be your true self. Or you struggle to be your true self because you struggle to open up in that sense because you're stuck in that situational awareness in your head, then it's not going to be really good for a relationship. And this is where I really emphasize on doing the self-work on yourself into improving that transition phase and getting to a state which will get you there. For me, personally, it's like 3 breaths. It's something like this. Just for me doing those 3 breaths alone, allow my body to give in, to relax, and to feel my emotions again. And I use my emotions during training to improve my draining and my aggression, but I also help it when I'm spending time with my partner in doing things together and showing my true self around her, around him in this sense. These are important because if you're always business oriented and you're always on the go and you're always thinking in a certain mindset about business and facts and not so emotional, then it's not very beneficial to actually growing a true connection with a partner, especially in the relationship segment of our life, because this is what this podcast is about. And it's really crucial you do that because that's how you build true nurturing and affectionate connections. We want people to build affection with each other because that's how you learn to love and care for each other and then eventually build a family with each other. If you build those elements of just pure facts and timing and duration, it's not very natural in the sense. You have to want to feel like you want to be with that person and spend time with that person. So it's really important you do so and you learn to switch on and off. And the only way you can do that is through practice. And for me, like I said, like I just did, my 3 breaths were my version of surrendering myself to that assertive dominant side and allowing myself to be the more vulnerable calming side that I need to be for my partner when I'm at home. Because obviously when you're with your partner, guys, right, and this is especially during sex, right, and any type of strong intimate connection, right, it's really important that in certain moments such as sex, intimacy, and very nurturing and cuddling moments and really where you have to get nice and intimate with your partner, that you're not this constant dominant factual individual, because you have to learn to let that go and be that calming affectionate emotional self as well as a man towards your woman, because that's what they want as well. What women really want in a guy is that they want to know that you can show this vulnerable, calming and affectionate side when you're in the most intimate moments with them, whether that's sex, whether that's cuddling, whether that's just nurturing that individual, right? But then they want to know that after that, right, that not too long after that, that you're back in the game and you're going to be that dominant protector that you're supposed to be as a male for your partner, right? And you're not going to stay in that state of just being like that all the time, right? And your partner would know the difference in levels of that, right? Naturally, some men are a bit more affectionate, just in general. like myself. But some men are a bit more emotionless, right? And just go for the facts and the business mindset, right? And just a bit more emotionless when it comes to the business world or their actual job life, right? And that makes sense, right? But women want to know that you have that side that you unlock to them when they need it in the most intimate and nicest parts of those moments, those vulnerable moments, right? I actually learnt this off a guy recently, and it was the Roommates channel, and he basically says the way lobsters mate is that the male lobster fights other male lobsters in order to gain the female, and the female only mates with the male lobster that wins when fighting for the other males. But when the male lobster actually mates with the female lobster, he takes his shell off to show his vulnerabilities, right? In order for him to mate with the female, but then he puts his shell back on afterwards. So that's the true biological sense where you're going with that, is that, yeah, women want a man that can do that and switch on and off. And also men want the same for a woman, a very high value woman. They want to know she can be this dominant, bossy, sassy individual that's going to tackle the world, be a go-getter, and go for what she wants, right? But then at home, she can be that submissive if she wants to be vulnerable, emotional, and nurturing individual that she wants to be to her protecting husband or protecting partner that's trying to be that leader in the relationship, to lead and show that. And as a male, it's our role to do that for our females, right? For our vulnerable females, right? If you take that away from us, we lose our role as a male role model in this life, in that element. So you lose your purpose biologically, naturally as a male. I hope this guys makes sense, right? If you guys have any more questions, please shout out to me. Reach my DMs, and shout out on Instagram, my Spotify podcast, and also my YouTube channel. All right, guys, thank you very much. This is Thomas and Thomas here, bringing to you the Datework Channel.